Good morning, students. Welcome to your class of the subject refrigeration and air conditioning. Now we have started this subject air conditioning and ventilation in the last class. And in last class we have discussed about the introductory part of air conditioning, that is what is the necessity of air conditioning, what are the properties of moist air like dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature, dew point temperature, enthalpy, relative humidity, specific humidity and other parameters. We have also discussed about what is the instrument that is used for measuring all these temperatures, that is dry bulb and wet bulb, that is called psychometer. And on the based on this equipment, that is psychometer, if we go for different type of process for treating the atmospheric air like heating or cooling or adding some moisture content or removal of some moisture content, that is humidification and dehumidification, then we have to go for several processes. Now, in this class we will discuss about all those psychometric processes. So here the first psychometric process is sensible cooling. In last class we have discussed about what is sensible cooling and what is sensible heating. The term sensible heat is used when there is change in temperature of the substance or of the refrigerant or of the working medium without any change in phase. That is why during sensible heating there will be an increase in temperature, and during cooling there will be a decrease in temperature, but no phase change will take place. Third process is humidification and dehumidification. As all of you know that the basic purpose of air conditioning is not just to control the temperature, rather along with temperature another three parameters are also to be controlled. That is, the first parameter is moisture content or humidity present in the air. Along with that, air distribution and sometimes air motion or air quality. So humidification is the process of addition of moisture or water vapor in the air, and dehumidification is the process of removal of moisture from the air. Now, on the basis of these four basic processes, that is sensible heating, sensible cooling, humidification and dehumidification, if we combine all these four, then another four processes can be obtained. What are those processes? First thing is heating and humidification. Second, heating and dehumidification. Similarly, cooling and humidification, cooling and dehumidification. Along with this, another process is sometimes used, that is called adiabatic mixing of air stream, that is used in case of practical air conditioning system. Now, with respect to this psychometric chart, we can denote all these processes. So first thing is sensible heating. Now during sensible heating, since there will be change in temperature, that is dry bulb temperature, without any change in phase of the pure substance, so this sensible heating process is denoted by the line OA. O is the origin or starting point, A is the final point. See, from O to A there will be increase in dry bulb temperature, but no phase change takes place because specific humidity remains constant, and specific humidity is nothing but the mass of the water vapor present in 1 kg of dry air. So since the amount of water vapor is constant, so there will be no phase change but only temperature change. Similarly, the sensible cooling is represented by OB, just the reverse of this sensible heating. Now this OC line denotes humidification. Since the humidification means addition of moisture, so the amount of water vapor present in the air will increase. As a result, specific humidity W will increase. Here from O to C there is an increase in W, that is specific humidity or humidity ratio. The reverse process is known as dehumidification. So O to D denotes dehumidification. So the basic processes are OA, that is sensible heating, sensible cooling, humidification and dehumidification. Now if we combine all these four processes, so first we have to go for heating and humidification. So OA, that is heating, OC, that is humidification. So if we want to achieve heating and humidification at a time, so that will be represented by the resultant of these two lines, that is OE. So OE represents heating and humidification. So obviously just the opposite process, that is OG. OB is cooling, OC is dehumidification. So cooling and humidification. So OG represents cooling and humidification. Now in the downward side, OA is heating, OD is dehumidification. So the resultant of OA and OD, that is OF, represents heating and dehumidification. And since OB is cooling and OD is dehumidification, so the resultant of OB and OD, that is OH, this one represents cooling and dehumidification. So what are the utilities of this process? So we have to apply all these processes as per the variation of season, that is for summer air conditioning or for winter air conditioning or for year-round air conditioning. That we have to discuss step by step. So your first process is sensible heating. So what is sensible heating, or what do you mean by sensible heat? So the term sensible heat means heating of air without any change in phase or addition or removal of moisture content, but only change in temperature. That is termed as sensible heating. So that is why during sensible heating, there will be only change in dry bulb temperature, but no change in phase. Now how can we achieve this? Now the sensible heating can be achieved if we consider there is a duct. This is the inlet of the duct, this is section 1 dash, and 3 dash is the outlet of the duct. We are considering that some amount of air is entering into this duct, which is having a dry bulb temperature TdB1. That is unsaturated air. Now we have to go for sensible heating process when this air is to be passed over a surface or over a coil which is maintained at a temperature greater than the dry bulb temperature of the inlet air. That means this coil is if it is having a temperature T2, so this T2 must be greater than the dry bulb temperature of the inlet air. So what will happen? As a result, the air that will come out from this duct will gain some amount of heat, and that air will be heated. So hence only the heating of the air takes place without any change in phase. That is why this process is termed as sensible heating. So if the air comes out with a temperature TdB3, then the process can be denoted, or the process can be expressed in psychrometry chart like this. One is the condition of inlet air, 3 is the condition of outlet air. Now this heating coil temperature, that is the condition of heating coil, that is surface temperature T2, that can be represented by a point 2. Now why this T2 is greater than T3? Why it should be not less than T3? Because the temperature of the heating coil is the maximum temperature, and when the inlet air, which is having a temperature TdB1, will just try to pass over this heating coil, it will gain some amount of heat. So by gaining some amount of heat, that means when the energy exchange takes place between the inlet air and the heating coil surface, then obviously the air coming out from this coil will have a temperature that will be less than the heating coil temperature. But if you consider the ideal situation, then in ideal situation the air that will be coming out of the duct will try to attain a maximum temperature which is equal to T2. But that cannot be achieved practically, because if that can be achieved, then the efficiency of this coil will be 100%, which is not possible. So the sensible heating process is denoted as the line 132. So what are the main features of the sensible heating process? So first you have to look at that what is the change in dry bulb temperature. So dry bulb temperature, obviously it will increase from 1 to 3 or 3 to 2. Specific humidity, see here specific humidity remains constant, W. So specific humidity remains constant. Relative humidity, this is the initial relative humidity phi 1, then final phi 3. So from phi 1 to phi 3 is in this direction humidity is decreasing, so relative humidity decreases. Specific enthalpy, this is the initial specific enthalpy, final specific enthalpy. So in this direction enthalpy increases, so specific enthalpy increases. So now we have to find out what will be the amount of heat that is to be added to the air, or what is the amount of sensible heat that is to be added. So since the process is denoted as 1 to 3 by the line 1 to 3, so the amount of sensible heat that is to be added during this process 1 to 3 will be H3 minus H1, that is the change in enthalpy. Now since H equal to Cp dt, and in the last class we have already denoted that the total enthalpy H is a mixture of enthalpy of the dry air plus enthalpy of the water vapor associated with dry air. That is why these H3 and H1 can be replaced by Cp of dry air into delta T plus W into Cps into delta T. So as a whole, this can be written as CPM, that is the humid specific heat, into temperature difference delta T, where this humid specific heat CPM is equal to 1.022 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So this is sensible heat kilojoule per kg. Now if you want to find out what will be the amount of sensible heat added in kilojoule per minute, that will be mass flow rate of the air into specific heat into dt, that is mCp dt. Now mass flow rate can be represented as rho into V into CPM into dt. Now standard value of rho of air is 1.2 kg per meter cube at 25 degrees centigrade and 50% relative humidity. And volume flow rate VA is measured in terms of meter cube per minute. So if we put all these values, then sensible heat per second added per second, that will be 0.02044 into VA into delta T, that will be in kilowatt. So for achieving this sensible heating, you have to know what are the different types of coil that can be used. So the types of heating coil of the types of surface over which the air is to be passed, which will be maintained at a temperature greater than the dry bulb temperature of the inlet air, may be of different types. It may be an electric resistance heater, or it may be a steam coil. In this figure we have used one steam coil. That means through this path we have made to pass certain amount of steam which is having a temperature much greater than the temperature of the inlet air, so that we can achieve the sensible heating process. Thank you.